Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is find numerical and graphical solutions of inequalities. And so a good example is a problem that's in the book. It's actually on page 564. But let's take a look at it, and I'll try and draw it the best I can. But this is on page 564. Oops, maybe. So 564. Okay, and it's problem 85. Okay, and so the problem says use the graph to solve the compound inequalities. Write your answer in interval notation. So the problem is, if say is -2, which is less than or equal to y1, which is less than 2. And then they give you this graph. So I'm going to graph it as best I can here. Okay, so here's my graph. Okay, this is x and this is y. Okay, and it says that one of the lines is at 2, so it's at y equal to 2. So it's a line going like that, and a line going like that. And then there's another one at -2. So we'll do this. Okay. And then we have a line that it intersects here at 1. And it also does it here at 1. And it intersects. So I'm going to try and draw this line. So it's like this and like this. And with this intersection is important. It's at 1 as well. Okay, and then this other intersection here is at -2. So -2. Okay, and so here's the setup of the whole thing. So we're saying that -2 is less than y1, which is less than 2, and y1 is this diagonal line. So this is y1. Okay, and so we want to know the interval notation. So on this particular setup, when you look at it, you're trying to say, okay, where is this occurring? Okay, so the interval notation would be what we look at for the x. So if I want to write an interval notation, let's back that up, write that better. So an interval notation, okay, and if I want to write one, I'm doing it for the x values. So as x goes in this direction, where does it stop? Well, it stops at the -2. So we would include that. So that would be -2. And then going in the other direction, we see it is here at 1. So this is at 1. So here is the interval notation that they're talking about when they ask for this, okay, for this particular setup. So it's only the x values that we're looking at, because we're looking at this y value. Where is the y value on the for the x values? So let's do another one that's kind of like it. That way you have two in your homework assignment, so you can see that. So let's do number 86. Okay, and 86 is 1 is less than y1, which is less than 3. Okay, and so again, I have to make a graph. And this is already in the book, if you have a book. Okay, and so this is the setup. Now we know that y is at 1, so we'll put one at 1. So here's the line. And then we also have one at 3. So 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, right? And so I have a line going like this. Okay, and then the line, the y1, is going through at the 1 value, so it's intersecting here. Okay, And I can also see, so just to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So it's going through like this. Okay. And we already see that this is at 0, but this line here, I'm going to go ahead and dot a line all the way down. This number right here that we need to have is at -2. So to write the interval notation, I'll just go IN because my handwriting is terrible on this pad. Still trying to get it to write better. We can see that the smallest value of here for the y at 3 is at -2. And then it goes to here where it intersects the second one at y equal to 1. And so that's going to be at 0. And so that should be a bracket. So I've made a mistake. This should actually be a parenthesis. So let's back it up so we can fix that. So for this one it should be parentheses because it's the intersection here is at 3. So this should be parentheses at -2, and this one should be 1 at bracket because we're talking about this part. This part here is the y equal to 1, and this one here is y equal to 3. And because there's no line under there, that's why we have a parentheses for that particular starting place, and it goes to that. So here's fixing my mistake. So here the diagonal line again is the y1. But you can see again that when we are writing the interval notation, we're doing it from the -2 to the 1.